Sharon is bird watching, spots an eagle in a tree. Okay, I remember setting this up, so let's talk about the solution. We set this up, and we know that this full distance is 40, but what we are interested in is how far she traveled in that last piece. Once she moved this distance, okay, how far away from here was she? So what we're going to do is we're going to use the big triangle, this guy, to solve for x, and x is going to be this height. Now, how did you know to do that? Well, you didn't. You just basically had to figure out what is a side I can actually solve for. I know that this full distance is 40, but like this height is the only thing I can actually get at this point, unless I did this guy and this guy. No, that doesn't help either. Yeah, that is actually the only thing I can actually get. So if I know that this side is 40, that's the A, that is the O, so the O over A is actually tangent. So the tangent of this many degrees actually equals 30.6. So this guy is now 30.6. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move into the smaller triangle, and we're going to use this guy, use that to get the A. So now we're going to go tangent of 51.7 has to equal the O over the A. And we'll swap those two. 30.6 divided by the tangent of 51.7 equals this guy. Okay, so how far did she move here is what they're actually asking. And so I would take 40 and subtract this guy. Because if this guy is 24.2, you know that from this right here to here had to be 40. I'm sorry, yeah, here to here is 40. So if this is 24.2, just go ahead and take that, subtract it from 40, and you're going to get 15.8. All right, 2, -1 is a point on a terminal side in standard form of theta. Find the exact values of the trigonometric functions. Okay, so we need to know what theta this is in order to actually use the trig ratios. So we have a length of 2 here, and we have that's a cosine, or the adjacent. So 2 plus 11 squared will give me r squared. We know that this distance then it's actually going to be the square root of 125, which is 5 radical 5. Okay, now that we got that, we have a complete triangle. Okay, but you got the coordinates there. And now this is really super easy. Just don't think about this anymore. Think of it just like a triangle, but you are looking from the origin. So this is your perspective. You are looking from there. And you are also in the 4th quadrant because you did go down. You're to the right, but you are down. So this is the 4th quadrant. So what values of these guys are negative? Well, sine is negative in the 4th. Cosine is not. Tangent is negative in the 4th. Cosecant is, and cotangent is. So these two are not negative in the 4th quadrant. Okay, so this is just O over A, reduce. A over H, reduce. O over H. A over H. Did I misspeak? I don't know. Over A. This is the reciprocal of this, so this would be H over O. This is H over A, and then this is going to be A over O. Okay, so we're just flip-flopping. All right, same thing here. Looks like where cosine is -6 over 7. So that puts us in, let's see. Oh, it does say that the negative value is on cosine, and sine is also negative. So where are they both negative? And they're both negative in quadrant 3. Okay, so we are over in this region right here. So this means that the sines are going to be negative and the cosines are going to be negative. But if they're both negative, tangent is sine over cosine. So those will become positive. Okay. So how do we know these exact values? Well, you've got an A over H. So A over H. And you can draw this triangle however you like because you don't actually have a point. You just have a ratio. Okay. So you're going to use the Pythagorean theorem to find out that this is actually radical 13. And then from there, you have A, H, and O, and you'll just go ahead and do what you need to do. All right. All right, reference angles. Now, reference angles basically mean I'm trying to figure out how far am I from the x-axis, and I need to be from 0 to 90 degrees, okay, and I got to be positive, or I have to be from 0 to pi over 2, okay, and again, it has to be positive. This is the reference angles are basically just what family does it belong to, okay? So 164 minus 180 will just tell me that that's 16. It can't be negative, so there we go, positive 16. Negative 461. Where is that? Let's add 360 to see where we are. Negative 101. Okay, so negative 101 is over 180. It's if I go around, what would happen if I added 180? Okay, 79. Okay, so I'm either subtracting or adding 360 and 180 to get a number that is between 0 and 90. Okay, negative 3 pi over 4. Okay, where is negative 3 pi over 4? Negative 3 pi over 4 is right here. Okay, but notice he is a pi over 4 family. Okay, so what is that degree? As far, if I were to draw a triangle here, his reference angle is actually pi over 4. Okay, this is a pi over 9 family, so our reference angle will be 9. So how do we handle this? Well, let's think. 18 pi over 9 is 2 pi. So let's see. What can we do here? What about... I also know that 9 pi over 9 is actually pi. So if I'm 13 of these, that means that I went 9 pi over 9, and then I went 4 more this way. Now, I don't know where that is. It's like, I don't know, somewhere over here. 4 is half. It's not quite half. So I went 4. So this distance right here has to be the distance from 9 pi over 9 to 13 pi over 9. So it's got to be that. And this angle is between 0 and pi over 2. And I know it doesn't look like it, okay, but, all right, let's go. Let me show you. 4 pi divided by 9 is 1.39, and we know that pi over 2 is 1.57. So it's got to be smaller than this in order to be a reference angle, and that's exactly what we have. That is smaller than 90 degrees. Okay. Okay. Here, this is where you would use your unit circle. Okay, so sine, go to negative 4 pi over 3, takes us over here into the second quadrant. And because it's a pi over 3 family, that would take us, our unit circle would be this guy. Negative secant, just don't think of this as secant. Do that last. This guy's actually the reciprocal of cosine. So go find the x coordinate, okay, and then flip it. Okay. This guy's cosine, that's good. Just use a unit circle, pi over 4 family. He's got to be this guy. But because he's in the fourth quadrant, he's going to be positive. Okay. Cotangent, we're going to flip tangent. Or you could look at it like this. At pi over 6, okay, this means that I've got cosine over sine, which is my x coordinate over my y. At pi over 6, I have radical 3 over 2 over 1 over 2. And that cancels out, the 2's cancel out, and you will actually just get radical 3.